After nearly 10 years of marriage, Lucas and Sarah were the kind of couple people envied. They had steady careers, a cozy home, and plans that stretched far into the future. Sarah, a rising star at a prominent marketing agency, spent most of her time in boardrooms and airports, while Lucas worked remotely as a financial analyst, his days buried in spreadsheets and earnings reports. Life was predictable, safe, but beneath the surface, something was starting to fracture. In the early years, Lucas admired Sarah's drive. Her long hours and business trips were signs of ambition, and he was proud of her. But as the trips grew more frequent, first weekends, then whole weeks in cities like New York, San Diego, and Atlanta, Lucas couldn't ignore the growing distance between them. Sarah always brought up her boss, Anthony, in passing. To anyone listening, it would seem harmless, but Lucas began noticing how her demeanor changed when she talked about him. She was glued to her phone more often, barely making eye contact during conversations. Late at night, she'd lie in bed texting under the covers, thinking Lucas was asleep. At first, he chalked it up to stress and deadlines, but doubt crept in like a slow, poisonous fog. Then came the announcement of another trip, this time to San Diego for a major marketing summit. Sarah was practically glowing when she told him. "Anthony and a few others are going too," she said casually, as if the name didn't make Lucas's stomach churn. "He thinks it'll be a big opportunity for us." Lucas smiled, masking the storm brewing inside him. "San Diego again, huh?" he said, keeping his voice level. She nodded and continued packing more carefully than usual. He noticed the new outfits, the attention to her hair, the subtle but unmistakable purchase of new lingerie. That's when he stopped pretending. Something was wrong, and he had to know the truth. What Sarah didn't know was that Lucas had already booked a flight on the same plane, sitting far enough not to be noticed. He followed her to the airport, blending into the background like a shadow. On board, he watched her laugh and lean into Anthony, the two of them looking more like lovers than colleagues. By the time they landed and checked into a beachfront resort together, Lucas's worst fears had solidified into gut-wrenching certainty. He didn't confront them, not yet. Instead, he booked a room under a different name and watched them from afar, at the rooftop bar during their intimate dinners and ultimately when they disappeared together into the same hotel suite. Sarah hadn't just lied. She crossed a line he hoped she never would. That night, Lucas didn't sleep. Instead, he made phone calls to his lawyer, to a private investigator, to his bank. The next morning, he started collecting hard proof. A discreetly installed camera, archived documents, screenshots, photos, and video stills. He wasn't interested in theatrics or screaming matches. He wanted finality and impact. By the time they returned home, Lucas had gathered more than enough. Sarah walked through the door acting as though nothing had changed. She kissed him on the cheek and went on about meetings, networking, and all the exciting ideas that came out of the summit. Lucas nodded, playing the part of supportive husband for a few more days, all while putting the final pieces of his plan in motion. Then came the night. They went out for dinner to a restaurant he used to frequent, a quiet place filled with memories now tainted by betrayal. Over wine and dim lighting, Lucas handed her a wrapped box. She looked surprised and opened it with a smile, until she saw what was inside. An envelope. Her fingers trembled as she pulled out the photos, the screenshots, the video stills. Her face drained of color. "Lucas, what is this?" "It's everything," he replied coldly. "Everything you've been pretending didn't exist." "I can explain," she started, her voice cracking, but he didn't let her finish. "I've already filed. The divorce papers are with my lawyer. And Anthony, he's getting his own little surprise tomorrow morning." Lucas stood up, leaving Sarah in stunned silence at the table. He walked out without looking back, shedding the weight he'd carried for far too long. For the first time in months, he felt like he could breathe. The next day, Anthony received a thick envelope delivered to his office. But it didn't stop there. Copies were also sent to his firm's human resources department and the company's CEO. The evidence was clear. His affair with a subordinate wasn't just immoral. It violated corporate ethics. He resigned within days. As for Sarah, the fallout was swift. Her marriage, her job, her reputation, and her secret affair all imploded within a week. She tried reaching out to Lucas, calls, texts, even showing up at his office, but he never responded. There was nothing left to say. Months passed. Lucas started a new chapter, moved into a new place, took a sabbatical, and began rebuilding his life quietly, peacefully, and with no regrets. He hadn't sought revenge out of hate, but out of a need for clarity, closure, and justice. And in the end, he got exactly what he needed.